Don't stand so close to me. I don't know what song is randomly
because somebody said I don't want to be so close to you guys. And then you didn't even realize it, and I got it in your head.
Nope, I didn't get it.
The police.
Don't stand so close to me.
You or me?
That's me.
Okay.
Be vibrating. All right, ready?
Ready?
Indeed.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the Freemasons podcast with your hosts, Right Worship Brother George Mudry.
Worship Brother Joe.
And worshipful Brother Ken.
Pink does not look good on me, but it's for a good cause.
It flatters my complexion.
Yeah, I think
Is that what it does?
Ken's
I'm
complexion.
with a little tan now.
Yeah,
It doesn't look bad on you. It balances out your reddish hue from being so goddamn angry all the time.
Blood pressure.
But we are wearing shirts. Joe, you actually grabbed these for us, so why don't you tell us what we're wearing them for?
Yeah, so this is obviously it's October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and there's a local charity right in Seymour here called Seymour Pink. This weekend was their 5K for Pounding the Pavement for Pink, which is normally a race run right through downtown here, but it was virtual today. So we just decided to get some shirts and wear them for the podcast to support the local charity and just to bring some awareness.
Actually, my mother passed away when I was 15 of breast cancer. Started as breast cancer, and then it went from there to everywhere. So charity kind of holds a little special place in my heart. And if I remember, I'm trying to remember what the Masons team name was when we ran. It was something funny, but I can't remember it.
You ran that I think you ran it last year, didn't you? And I couldn't make it for some reason.
I ran it last year, yes.
Yeah.
And I actually ran it.
Yeah.
Ran it. Believe it?
Yeah.
Little old me. Look
It's like a 10K for you, though, because of the little steps. It's like dog years. It's like George Miles.
I hate running. Let me tell you, I hate running. I hated it in the Marine Corps. I hate it today. You know what else I hate doing too? Swimming. I cannot swim.
I'm not a big fan unless I'm drowning.
Swim like an anchor. Swear to God.
I love the ocean.
No.
Not a fan of swimming.
You have to understand, though, I also had a drill instructor who was trying to pull me under.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll do
So,
something
well,
to you.
I just really don't like sharks.
Water fighting. Don't like sharks.
I hate sharks.
But you're fine with like a lake or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lakes, yeah. Rivers, no, because bull sharks can swim upstream into rivers. So okay. No, they can.
They can.
That's how the whole Jaws story got started. It was Cherry Hill, New Jersey, I think.
Yeah, something like
Really?
that.
Bull shark swam upriver and
Scared a bunch of
killed a
people.
bunch of kids that were swimming in the river.
Yep.
It's possible. It could happen.
Interesting.
And those freaking sharks now up in like Cape Cod area, they'll get you in like thigh deep water.
So I just had like a flash in my head of like, you guys have seen the movie Dodgeball, right?
Yeah.
Where what's his name? Ben Stiller's got the painting of himself like wrestling the ball. Like Joe just with a shark in a headlock.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
I don't know. It just kind of popped in my head.
Sharks and alligators freak me
I
out.
like that. Let's see if Peter can put that together.
There's something
Sure, you can draw that.
about that
I
prehistoric
think
thing.
that'll be a meme. Anyway, let's get into on episode 151, and this one is
151.
going to be Ask a Mason Live. This episode is going to be for anyone who is a non-Mason who is watching live right now. Hopefully, we'll get some people who are non-Masons, and if
or maybe even EA or an FC that
or an EA or an FC,
anything that we can answer. General questions about the craft.
I think the three of us are pretty well endowed. To answer
Some more than others.
to answer questions about Freemasonry, but this is for anybody who's interested in petitioning, anybody who's an entered apprentice, fellow craft, or even a master mason who's interested, or anybody who wants to join, specifically anybody who wants to join Freemasonry and has questions. So if you are watching and you are not a Mason, you are interested in Masonry, obviously you're watching, and you have any other friends or anybody else you know of who's interested in Freemasonry, here's the place.
Just keep in mind that the usual disclaimers apply, that we will be speaking from our own personal experiences and knowledge, and our views do not reflect the opinions of any Grand Lodge jurisdiction or local Blue Lodge or any jurisdiction whatsoever.
So first question I actually have.
Well, do we want to do likes first and do that, or do we want to jump right? Let's do likes
yeah.
first, because I like to show off how well I could read these names.
Have at it.
You could. So I'm pretty sure we covered Dom Austin and Eli Dardis, but we've got a few more since then. We've got Colin Hill.
Okay.
We've got Justin Ryan Willis. We've got Derek Hockett. We've got Vincent Bortiglia.
Oh, nicely done.
Yes, I thank you.
Okay.
And we have our last one for this episode is Karen Marie Chipkowski Featherstone.
Wow.
Wow.
Nicely
I'm
done.
sick of you getting softballs, man.
Chipkowski? look at the spelling on it.
That's
What would
a
you
one.
have
Yep, I wouldn't have gotten
You
that
would
one.
not have gotten that top one. CZUPKOWSKI.
That's a tough one.
And it's got a hyphen
Yeah,
in there.
that would be Sibakowski.
Yeah, and that would be wrong.
Yep.
Anyway, Joe, you read him, you lead him.
All right. Brethren, right hand to arms.
To arms.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire, good fire, fire all. Together, brothers.
Vivat, vivat, vivat.
Isn't it
Thank
nice
you.
to drink a nice whiskey after like last few weeks of having crappy stuff?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Dickel and
This is actually my own batch. And then it was funny, Ken, you missed it the last episode.
I saw it on the table.
No. But what you didn't see before I showed up is like, I'm bringing lead slingers. Hell, we're drinking some lead slingers, right? Now I'm sitting there. I got I get my lead slingers out. I'm like, oh, Joe's going to love this shit. He walks up with the thin blue line lead slingers. Lead slingers. I'm like, what the hell? Like, we both had the same exact idea.
Yeah, that happens.
It's kind of weird how
You
we're
guys
in
are
each
like
other's head all the time.
synchronized for some
It's
reason.
like we're Siamese twins, except I got the penis.
and the asshole.
Very nicely done. So this actually came through. Seriously,
Yeah.
We're connected at the hip/shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can see a Halloween costume coming on right now. But anyway, in all seriousness, I actually got a message through Anchor, and this one comes from a Joel Cleaver. And I'm going to play his message live. Joel,
nice.
if you're watching or listening, or you're probably going to be listening on Anchor or iTunes or however, this one's for you, and we will answer it one by one, and we'll let Boy Genius down the end of the table go first. But
no
here we
pressure.
go. Ready, boys?
Ready.
I've recently started to try to talk my wife around to the possibility that I would join the Masons. Listening to your podcast has really, really encouraged me. Most of my life I've spent around the church, and, there's that negative mistake, the Masons, where, even the college that I went to, the Methodist college in McPherson, Kansas, actually had a rule that no student could become a Mason. However, your podcast really convinced me that I want to do this. This is something that I'm very interested in. How would you bring it around to a wife?
And that is his question.
All right. His name is Ryan.
His name is Joel
Oh, Joel.
Cleaver.
Got it. Okay.
As soon as my face recognition recognizes me and not with the mic in front of my freaking face. There we go. But that was Joel Cleaver.
Okay.
He asked, he wants to join Masonry. He was always around the church. He heard the negative mystique around us.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to
As
convince his
always.
wife.
Now he's trying to convince his wife.
ostensibly the same religion as him. Okay. Got it.
So the question is, how do you bring it around to talking to your wife?
Yep. Well, Joel, I can tell you from personal experience, I am also Methodist, and I have no issues whatsoever reconciling my religious views or the views of the church, the rules with the tenets of Freemasonry and my involvement with the fraternity. So I don't know if that helps you out at all. I'm assuming your wife is the same religious or the same religion, and you probably attend the same church and everything. I would probably start by just dropping little hints about the fraternity and maybe asking what her opinions are. I don't know if she has any kind of preconceived notions about what the fraternity is about. But the best way to deal with animosity I've found, or animosity that stems from ignorance, is information, right? If you deal in the facts, usually, smart people are going to come to their own conclusions about things, and If you've come to a positive conclusion about Freemasonry aligning with your beliefs, then she probably will too, as long as she has the same data set that you're working from. So that would be my recommendation: is get more information in front of her. And if I can ever be of help with that, you let me know.
Yeah, what I would recommend is a couple of things, because I kind of went up against the same thing you're experiencing. And I think if you start with a little introduction, because a lot of people just don't know what we do and with certain things. So the one thing that everybody knows is the Shriners and the Shriners Children's Hospitals.
Yes.
Those are all Masons. You have to be a Mason to become a Shriner. So I would start to promote some of the charitable efforts that Freemasons do. And it's always helpful. You may not. Now, I had the benefit of one of my neighbors who was a good friend of the family, was a Mason. And that's how I found out about Freemasonry. And that's how I got into the craft. So she had already known him. And we had known that family for 10 years. So that made it not seem so scary. And he was pastor at the time too. So it's like, okay, here he is. He's a pastor in I don't know what denomination, but it was a Protestant denomination. And here he is, pastor of his church, and he's a Freemason. He's also a police officer. So he was an upstanding citizen in the community, and that definitely helped. Then another brother that actually came to meet me at the house was a school teacher in town. So it was like, okay, it kind of removed that curtain. It's okay. Right. These are people I know. This isn't a group of scary people that I don't know. I don't know what's in their head. I don't know what they're up to. They're already members of the community that we knew. And it's like, okay. The other thing I would recommend is, one, stay away from the internet. Have her stay away from the internet. But see what kind of functions the local lodge or Scottish Rite or Shriners are doing that might be open to the public, and bring her to one of those functions so she kind of just feel it out.
So you would not recommend walking in the door and be like, "Listen, woman, sit down and watch this Alex Jones documentary." Is what you're telling? That's what you're telling me. Don't
do that yet. Yeah.
People have to come to their own opinions on things. You know, if she's not going to be all right with it, then she's never going to be all right with it, and you don't want to have that kind of.
Well, first thing I would do would be, and this is my opinion, is Masonry is a journey for you. So I would first inform my wife, hey, I'm going to get more information on these people. This is something I want to do. And I recommend that you go get more information. I'm talking about actually reach out to a lodge and ask to meet with them and tell them what listen, my wife's on the fence about this, or my wife's not okay with this. Can we, I would like to learn more about it. Is it possible that me and my wife can come down and meet with you guys? So that, she can feel as comfortable with, what I'm going to do as I am going to.
And you know what they're going to give them, right?
Pamphlets.
Son of a bitch.
Not necessarily. Even just to have like a forum where she can ask questions, right? And get to know these guys and see that they're not scary, devil worshipping psychopaths.
Right.
I mean, who knows? They might have a pancake breakfast or something like that going on. Attend.
That's perfect. I know Shepherd Salem does meatless pasta. They do a meatless pasta dinner, which is open to the public. I mean, just this
I thought pasta was made from wheat.
What?
Isn't pasta meatless anyway?
No, meaning there's no shut up. No, but these little charity events, things like that are open for the public. Yeah. Pancake breakfast, you said. I know other lodges that do full-on spread breakfasts and stuff like that. These are all the reason why the Masons do this is to do exactly what we're encouraging you to go do.
And I would even encourage you, when you're selecting a lodge to petition, if you go that route, look for the lodge that does these type of events. Look for the lodge, even if it's an extra 15-20 minute drive for you. Find the lodge that's active in the community, because then that'll just make it easier for anyone to understand, not just your wife, but any family member or friend to understand what you're doing. Right. And chances are you're going to run into some people you already know.
Yeah.
There's a good chance of that.
I think we got my wife to really accept Freemasonry. She became friends with a lot of the friends that I met through the fraternity.
Right.
right? She knows Joe. She knows you. She knows all the vast majority of the guys that are members of my lodge. Of course, I went through the officers line, so she came to all the events and stuff. But I mean, that sealed the deal.
I mean, there are some lodges where the wives end up forming their own damn clique.
Yeah,
They're like, you know what?
Yeah,
Go, go to your meeting. We're going to do this. See you later. That happens quite frequently.
And again,
one
when
of
you're
those-
looking for a lodge, look for the lodge that does activities like that. It'll make it easy.
Another perfect example is, in Templary, they actually have something called the Ladies Auxiliary.
Mhm.
And when we have Grand Commandery sessions and stuff like that, the wives they make baskets and stuff, and they raffle off baskets, and it's all for charity, and they raise their own money. I got to give a tip off to Lori Cowie. I believe she does a bakeless bake sale, which is where it's just, it's a bake sale, but there's
No,
no,
like when you see
is it
like
also
the
meatless?
bakeless brownies or
Yeah.
bakeless
Mhm.
cheesecakes, and
she
things like
raises
that.
$2,000-$3,000 a
Nice.
year
That's
easily.
cool.
And all the ladies chip in. They do like baskets and stuff, and they have like, it's pretty cool at Grand Commander. You show up and you rip off little tickets and you stick it in what you want, and they do like a drawing, and you win stuff.
Yeah, they used to call that a Chinese auction. I don't think we could call it that anymore.
No,
We'll have to find a new name for it.
There's
I've
a
never
great
heard it
show on
called
Net-
that.
You've never heard it called a Chinese auction?
No, never.
Really?
Mhm.
No,
Maybe it's a
totally
Southern
new
Fairfield
term.
County thing.
Yeah,
guess
Joseph
so.
Schultz.
That's the only
is-
thing I've ever heard it referred to.
I've never heard it that way.
Joseph Schultz. There's a great show on Netflix called Inside the Freemasons, which is very informative to prospects. It's worth a watch if interested. Yes and no, because there's also, I've seen it.
Is that the
Goes a
one from
little
with the
far.
bricks?
There's also the other end of it where they got the guy up there with the big Indiana Jones hat talking about these guys, the New World Order, and they're taking over everything. Man,
Well, they try to like get everybody's different viewpoint.
yes, what they're
on
trying to
it,
do
but
is they're trying to make it a show and
Yeah.
not, they're trying to make it.
an expose kind of.
Yeah.
Not really, yeah.
So I would, in my personal opinion, I would shy away from that.
Those are geese, I think.
We're picking up outside.
Yeah, we're picking up goose noise.
But I would
Goose interference.
I would stay away from shows like that because, again, it's a show. It's trying to get ratings that might not necessarily be showing the truth. And as I've said before, we have one of my biggest pet peeves about those shows is every time they show the degrees. It's like veterans who watch war movies,
Yeah,
right?
that's wrong.
It's like, no, that wouldn't happen. Yep,
Yeah,
no,
you got to reload once in a while.
I know, right? Or people who are like professional race car drivers, I'm sure lose their minds watching like Terminator, right? Where he's shifting the car. There's got to be like a transmission with 72 gears in it, just every. So, like, no,
That was actually really good.
that was good, right?
You're like the guy from Police Academy.
Except that's the only sound.
Who's that? Hightower?
No,
who's the one?
Hightower was.
Hightower was a super tall guy.
Who was that? I want to say it's Deacon Jones, but I know
the
it's
same
not
guy
Deacon
from
Jones.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Beeps
I know
and
his
Creeps.
real name is Michael Winslow. I don't know what his character's
like
name
that.
was.
Was he a Mason
Bubba
too?
Smith was the Bubba Smith was Hightower. I remember his name. Huh?
Was
Michael Winslow.
was Michael Winslow? Did we think that he was a Mason? We were going to try to get him on the show.
I'll look it
I
up.
think so, but I'm not 100% sure. But
Sorry, it
um,
popped into my head.
yeah. So anyway, I would stay away. Again, I shy away from shows, and on top of that, you're also going to diminish your experience if you already know what you're going to be going through the door. But
Yeah.
as for getting, I mean, you should treat your wife, girlfriend, fiance, whatever, as your equal. So if you're going to go into the Holy Cats rates National Treasure top-notch documentary.
I do like the National Treasure movies. I think
They
they're supposed
were
to be doing
good.
a third one.
But I mean,
Yeah,
They're not historically accurate, but they're entertaining.
they're entertaining.
don't expect to be given any facts from any of these particular sources. The way to go is to go straight to the source.
Right.
Talk to them.
I love how the cop, and I got to bring it in here before, I know I was talking about before, but I love how the cop in National Treasure, or the FBI guy, was
Harvey
a Freemason.
Keitel. Yeah.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel.
That who was. He had the Freemason ring on, and he knew exactly. We've known about. Like he was in the church, and he was like, almost like he knew, like it was done. Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up!
They don't
The
tell
Guardian.
us secrets or anything. At least not us.
Maybe
I
We're just
mean,
not trustworthy.
Speak for yourself. I know them all.
Yeah,
I
know,
mean,
you
come on now.
purple bastard.
We got Delvady. You couldn't keep a secret around him. He'd be down there like what's his name, Duckworth and DuckTales, right? Just
Okay.
You mean like Scrooge McDuck? That guy? Are you talking?
Remember you dive off the
Yeah,
Yes,
swimming
into
pool
the
full
swimming
of gold
pool full of
balloons. One day I'm gonna have that in my house. By the way, mark my words.
I hope so.
I'm gonna Scrooge.
I'd like to come swimming. If
But
I'm
I mean,
invited.
come on
We're
now. We
always
got
invited.
Mans like Messner. He'd stab you for a Snickers bar. I mean, seriously, like.
Mm,
Or Mountain Dew. He's a
Or
big fan of
Mountain
Mountain Dew.
yeah,
we found that out, right?
Beverages. Yep.
So if there was-
Highly caffeinated.
I highly doubt that Masons would know where secrets are. Come on.
That's because you're not high enough.
Oh, you're not high enough.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the other good
Or
one.
we're in the wrong geographic location.
Yes.
Or blah, 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 blah.
It's always you're
Excuses
not high
go on.
enough.
Yeah.
It's always you're not high enough. That blows my mind.
Oh,
You're
well.
not high enough.
Nobody's ever said that to Rocco. What? Can't say that.
Just spitting his drink all over
Yeah,
his
thank
nice
you.
pink
Yeah,
shirt.
you can
thing.
edit that out later. Love you, brother.
Rocco's on there.
Hey, Rocco!
Hey, brother
Rocco.
Rocco.
Love you. Love you, Rocco. I hope you're enjoying that book. Now that I see that you're on, I hope you're enjoying that book I gave
What book?
you. Contemplative Freemasonry.
Really?
Yeah, it's using the rituals and parts of Freemasonry as a meditative tool.
That
Really?
sounds cool.
Yeah. And it's like taps into the five senses, all that stuff that you hear through a lot of the degrees. It actually gives you a practical application of it.
That's neat. I'm gonna have
It's
to
actually
check
really
that out.
cool.
Never seen that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, contemplative Freemasonry. On our Facebook page, I think it's the community page where I put up a bunch of pictures of books and book recommendations. It's in there. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember who the author is off.
Do you know the
Top
book
of
that
it.
Rocco gave me?
Yellow Pages.
Why would he give me the yellow pages?
Book of
So you can
matches.
sit on it, make you a little higher.
Nicely done. No, he gave me Alchemy Stoned.
Oh,
Newman.
okay.
It's actually quite informative, believe it or not.
Hey, if you're gonna be an alchemist, might as well make something good.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, still haven't figured out the gold thing, right? Oh, I hate these little.
I think that's to me that's a metaphor. That's a rough Ashler, perfect Ashler type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think gold was
Sir
a
Isaac
thing.
Newton was the one who tried figuring that out, the Philosopher's
yeah.
Stone or something like that.
Isaac Newton spent a lot of time.
He
on it.
spent, like,
Obviously,
a lot
there
of
were a lot of others, but he spent a ton of time on it.
Anybody who's watching, if you got any questions, fire them in. I would love to hear them. Anyway,
We
we're-
do have to set up a.
Is
You and I were
Joel-
talking about this the other day. We need to set up and get like a burner phone, or maybe you could just do it through Anchor instead of getting a burner
I
phone.
can do it through Skype.
Yeah.
Leave us messages.
Yeah.
We could announce the topic 3-4 days ahead of time, and
Mhm.
we can open up. People can leave messages, and
I
we
can plug
play
Skype
'em
right
on.
into this thing and have them speak on live. I don't bother me.
Well,
yeah, Skype.
I don't
you
know if we
can-
want to go live callers.
Yeah, you can just
don't
have,
have
a
a dump
voicemail
button.
box for Skype.
I could.
Oh, you can do a voicemail box.
Yeah, and
oh,
you can
perfect.
just, it's probably either free or cheap.
Did you see some of the comments the Schultz brothers were making?
Yeah,
earlier?
I see
yeah. That's
that.
why we can't do
Yeah.
live calls.
Well, no, but if I
Yeah,
it's that first off, I have them as contacts, so I could just
In case
dump
you
the
miss
call if you know.
Yeah, but at that point, it's already out there. We don't have a delay.
Jonathan Maynard.
That's why we can't do live.
Yeah.
Maynard.
you're right.
001. Good evening, gentlemen. I guess I'm
Good
late.
evening.
Welcome.
Evening.
And this episode is 151. And for anybody who's interested in asking Mason's questions about potential entry into the craft or anything, now's your time.
Real questions.
Real questions. Yes.
Real talk.
You know what we should do is
I mean, it could be funny if they're curious about the Masonic Goat. I mean, we've
we
covered
could-
it before,
we could
but
talk about that.
we
too.
should reach out to what was it, Joel Cleaver? Is that his first name?
Joel. Yep.
Joel.
Joel
yes.
Cleaver. Have his wife leave us a message with some questions. We'll try to
Sure.
Yeah.
we'll try to take those.
Yeah. It's fine.
Well,
with me.
She can ask a Mason too.
Yeah.
That's fine.
She could ask a
Yeah,
Mason
if any
too.
of you are have a significant other that's a little leery about you joining the craft, leave us a message. Call in.
Mhm.
We'll do our best.
And you know, I will
Maybe
say
more harm than good,
Yeah,
but
we'll do what we can.
yeah, we'll try.
got the
There's a lot of bugs in here.
No warranty expressed or implied.
fruit fly things. I don't know what
Yeah, there was like a hatch or something. They weren't here when I got here. And
No.
then all of a sudden they just came out of the woodwork.
You know, I'll even say too is
Fall, for God's sake.
Good
I
stuff.
get well, I used to get Facebook messages. Now it's up to you boys.
Why is that?
But I get because I got kicked off. I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. But I get a lot of people who've asked questions through Instagram. As a matter of fact, people ask me on Instagram a couple questions, and even Anchor comes through. You guys get Facebook. I get
Yeah.
it through Messenger. Well, used to get it through Messenger.
We haven't had anything pop up in Messenger lately. That's also another way
Yeah.
you can get in touch with us if you have questions.
Well, at least Joe and I.
Well,
Here's
and,
one.
and Raph.
And Raph. And Raph.
Pretty much everybody but George.
I'm holy cats. I made the mistake of telling my wife about the goat. Now I'm divorced.
Oh boy.
Can't help you there, brother.
So
Speaking of the goat, Tom Brady had an awesome day today.
Yeah, did you see that?
5
God.
touchdowns.
no,
5 touchdowns.
I don't watch Traders. Just like I don't listen to Benedict Arnold's freaking.
Well, that's because he's
I
dead.
don't listen to Benedict Arnold documentaries either.
And he's still alive
Trading
after all
bastards.
of these other people ended up injured in like week 2 and week
I
3.
just
like, he's
wanna-
still
It's not
alive.
his fault they didn't sign
I
him.
wish that they were selling tickets in Tampa Bay so I can go down there and throw loose change at them.
Anyway, they didn't want to sign him. But anyway, over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had a great day.
Yeah,
Nice.
and he's at like the very end of his career too. Like to be racking those kinds of numbers,
Like
up
Joe.
is-
Derek E. Harris. Hey, sorry to bother you in your personal account, but I'm a huge fan of your podcast. I've listened to almost every episode, and I'm hoping to petition a local lodge by the end of the year. I have a decent idea of the process, but I have just 1 or 2 questions, and I'd love a little help if you get a chance. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can reach out to me. He says, thanks. My main concern is that I'm barely 18. And even though that is old enough, I know that not many people join that young, especially people without relatives who have been members. Should that be something to worry about? And I said, no, fill out a petition.
Yeah.
Are there many people that I know of that were 17 that filled out a petition, said, yeah, I'm not 18 yet. All right, fill out a petition.
yeah, it's up to your
You
local lodge
just-
to figure that out.
Yeah, it's up to your local lodge, and most of them will take the petition and just say, "Hey, when your 18th birthday comes, give us a call,"
Mhm.
and they'll keep you. The other thing that they'll do is many lodges will actually say, "Hey, come to our dinners, come hang out, get yourself active."
And that's
Yeah.
what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Get out if you can attend their dinners, attend their dinners.
Even
if
if-
they have activities, start to hang around. You'll get to know if it's a right fit for you.
Mhm.
And if you come upon a lodge where you don't think it's a right fit, don't stop there. That could just be maybe that lodge isn't the right fit for you. There could be another one that's not far away that could be a better fit. So hang around, get to know what they're about, let them know what you're about, and see if it works out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few really young guys that joined Liberty Continental, our sister lodge in Waterbury, the sister lodge to my home lodge, and like they're active.
Yeah.
They were admitted. They were, entered, passed, and raised, and they're Masons.
I mean, look at brother Joe G.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
He's relatively young and he's doing extremely well. There are exceptions. I've seen, it's not for every 18-year-old. So that's why I'd say spend some time getting to know the lodge and the people and see if it's right for you.
Right.
And if it's not right for you at 18, and it's more right for you at 21, so be it. It's a lifelong endeavor, so don't rush it.
Jacob Drake. Hey, brothers, I had a question about being a Mason and traveling, especially being a Mason and traveling as a Christian missionary. How would I be able to do it? And are they still morally compatible? I think I'll take this one first, if you brothers don't mind.
No, go right ahead.
I would say that understand that Freemasonry is a voluntary organization, which means you are not required, unless an officer, to be at Mason meetings. In other words, if you come, you come. You don't, you don't. One of the cool things about being a Mason is after you've taken all the degrees, you are now a Master Mason and you are able to travel. So if you are a Christian missionary and you travel to different towns, look around. There's a lot of towns. You'd be surprised
Or even
how
different
many
countries. If you're
or
going
even different
overseas
countries,
as
yeah.
a missionary,
Yeah,
they're all
missionaries
over.
worldwide. So
Mhm.
you'd be surprised. Again, oh God, where did I go? Was it St. Lucia had a lodge? I passed by.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm
they're all over.
oh, like I'm in St. Lucia, its own little country in the middle of the Caribbean,
Mhm.
had a lodge, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow, so there is, as you're traveling as a Christian missionary, you could potentially land somewhere that has masonry around. I mean, there's Grand Lodge of Nigeria, there's Grand Lodges in Africa, just as there are here in Connecticut, in the United States.
Southeast Asia, there's a lot of missionary activities that go on down
Yeah,
there. There's a lot.
I know
of
people have been to
Masonic
lodges in the
there.
Philippines,
Yep.
and all over. all over.
Yeah.
As far as them being morally compatible, absolutely. I mean, look into the landmarks and tenets of Freemasonry.
Right.
It's brotherly love, friendship, charity, truth,
Treating everybody the same and equal, and
yeah,
do unto others. The whole
Brotherhood of man under the fatherhood of God.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
nothing immoral
Right.
about Freemasonry in the slightest bit. You may hear differing opinions on that, and those opinions usually come from somebody who's not familiar with the craft and not familiar with what we do. But when it comes to morality, there's no conflict whatsoever, and I'm not going to take a shot at the church. I'm done.
It's not taking a shot at the church, but if
the church has done some immoral things.
you have to understand though,
Right.
it's not. I don't think it's the church so much today. It's not as bad.
No,
But
not
back
as
in
it
the
was in
day-
the 50s and 60s, and
Back in the day, it was if you were not Christian, you were not going to heaven. You were not going to be God. Whereas now you see people are more tolerant these days, including the church. Like they not endorse, but they embrace LGBTQ in certain respects. Like, so you're starting to see a whole mind change
some more
of
open.
more openness, and that's just where the divide between Freemasonry and the Catholic Church kind of happened. Is that Freemasonry, as long as you believe in a supreme being, we don't care what religion you are.
Right. We've always been open to different thoughts and philosophies and different religions where, for a long time, many religions were like, well, it's ours or you're going to hell.
Right. So I don't see a moral compatibility issue. I mean, the same lessons are taught, and we don't understand. Masonry takes a lot of its lessons from the Bible.
Yeah,
So
as you would expect. Yep.
Well, and just I want to address one comment on the YouTube feed here. Avelino Ventura put there are Catholic priests who are also Freemasons here in the Philippines, and Worship Brother Joe Schultz said, really, that's unusual. It's really not.
No.
There are quite a few
it happens all
Catholic.
the time, right?
You got Father Joe up at Grand Lodge. You've got Bruce Belmore, I believe, is
he's
is he a
evangelical.
reverend? Okay,
Evangelical.
What evangelical?
Evangelical.
There we
yeah.
go. But there are
Which
Catholics
is,
that are
in
all,
a sense, a branch of the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah, and Father Joe is a Protestant, I think.
well, hell, I'm an
But
ordained
still.
minister. So. But there are Catholic priests and there
Light
are
of Day
priests that
Institute?
are out there. Universal Life Church.
Universal Life
Yeah.
Church.
But there are Catholic priests and whatnot that are in fact Masons and priests and pastors of all kinds of religions.
I thought there was a papal bull against it. Yes, that was in 1983.
Yep.
Was the last papal bull that was put out by a pope, telling
Three
people
had to be John Paul II, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And it basically stated that if you were how do I put it? If you were a Catholic, you were not allowed to join Freemasonry. If you did, you would be excommunicated from the church. I mean,
It's not still in effect.
my
though.
personal belief with the papal bulls in this day and age, it's a shark with no teeth.
I don't like sharks. We established that. But
I know.
Yeah,
That's what I
use a different analogy.
It's
it's a crocodile and it's an alligator.
it's like
All bark and no bite.
He's so ornery because he's got all them teeth and no toothbrush. See how I brought it back around?
I see what you did. No, but I really it's the church telling you not to do things. But I mean, you know how many people actually get excommunicated? Not too many.
Not too many.
It doesn't
I
happen.
mean, hell, I have no soul and I'm still.
I mean,
Mhm.
perfect example. You don't go into church. Let's say you're a Catholic, Roman Catholic, Methodist. I'm a Methodist as well. That's pretty crazy. We're both Methodists.
Yeah,
You are
Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic. They're not stopping you at the door saying, "Are you a Freemason?"
Right.
Like, I mean, you might not want to go to your church and promote it. You know, like wear a lapel pin with a Freemasonry thing for a couple reasons. Not
Yeah.
because you're worried about, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. It's not like that. But, you know, listen, I will put it this way.
There are some people that have issues with it.
There are some people that have it.
They
Yeah.
don't need.
You don't
to
need to-
know, you know?
Masons we don't do that.
Right.
Number one, we don't go in
Right.
there. I'm not going to walk into church with, you know, the Soviet Union
The
general
lapel thing.
thing.
Handing
Like,
out pamphlets
gonna
to the other parishioners. Yeah.
Jacob Drake, he also asks, what about Knights of Columbus in Freemasonry?
Yeah.
So let's get into this. This is a good one. So the Knights of Columbus was actually created to prevent people from joining Freemasonry.
Or as an alternative.
As an alternative to Freemasonry. What ended up happening, though, it actually backfired because many people who are Freemasons also joined the Knights of Columbus.
It was another.
It was another.
join.
Yeah,
Another
and understand Freemasons are all about light. We want to learn new things. We want to. It's all about knowledge, right? So yeah, of course we go over there and take Knights of Columbus. I mean, again, I've made the joke before. I always, make my jokes about marching in front of Knights of Columbus with the parade on horseback, with feeding the horses tacos the night before. But it's all good
Usually
fun.
behind them. And
We're usually
Memorial
behind
Day
them,
in
yeah.
Waterbury, yeah.
But
They're
no,
good guys.
But yeah, there's
They are good guys.
So
We've had conversations with them down at the church down there when we were lining up. I was like, no, it's not.
We're looking to accomplish the same thing for the most part.
Yes. It's all about the betterment of people and betterment of mankind, and and men in a sense.
Yeah, to Brother Rocco's point, he just commented here. We don't flash in church. Have I worn my ring to church? Sure, but I'm not looking to start anything. That's not a place to start something.
No.
As Masons, we respect all religions. So we're gonna be respectful.
And we don't recruit, so we're not going to walk in and try to.
Yeah, we're not handing out pamphlets.
Get some of our fellow parishioners to become Masons.
It's not like we're standing out front going, "Give to Oedipus."
Yeah.
Hey, Josephus. Hey, mother.
Yeah, we don't go around flashing the churches, and actually, when you sign up to be a Mason or sign up and you fill out a petition to be a Mason, it doesn't ask you your religion.
No.
we
The
don't
only
care.
sole question we ask is, do you believe in a supreme being? End of story. Doesn't matter who that is. Could be Zeus, could be Buddha, could be anybody.
I don't even know if that's on the petition. I think that's just the investigation.
No, it's the
committee has
investigation committee asks.
Yeah, they have to ask. Which
I
that's it. They don't ask
typically-
you what religion you are.
Right. And again, we've talked about my screening process that, not going to be mine for much longer because Joe's taking over secretary.
No, I'm not.
Zanino 2021.
No, I decline. I decline.
No, but one of the things we talked about my screening process. We vet people to come in. We're not taking shit bags, despite what many believe. There is a vetting process. It's usually a 2 or 3 tier deal. I mean, number one is the guy you meet with. If you don't recommend or vouch for him, if you know he's a shitbag, right? And that's typically if he comes through the EMR system or just happens to get a hold of the lodge, meet with him. I'll have a beer downstairs with him. I've met stellar guys who are now members of the Masons, who are proud rank members of our lodge now. And then I've met the Looney Tunes, who think that they see, they see Odin in a piece of wood or something. And say, oh, see, no.
Before or after he had his eye stabbed out? I'm just curious.
So no, we vet as well. But one of the questions that I always ask is, do you believe in a supreme being? Right off the cuff. Because realistically, being an atheist, well, you're done. There's no point to even continue.
That's usually when somebody asks me about, hey, what does it take to be one of those? What do you need to do? That's always my first question too. That's hey, if you don't have that, then sorry, I can't help you out.
It's pretty simple initial filtering criteria.
Jacob Drake. My actual name is Jacob Dean. And this is my freelancing name, but I just want to thank Joe for letting me post on the community page about the backpacking trip I will be doing as a missionary.
That's Jacob Dean, History's Mysteries.
History's
podcast.
Mysteries, yeah.
He's decided to, I believe, take a year off and go backpacking cross country and possibly around the world.
Wow.
So, we got some people that might be able to
we were on their podcast.
At least recommend some places for you to stay or tell you hopefully what areas to stay away from. But yeah, hey, no problem. And he's someone who is not a brother, but based on his experience, maybe one day he will be. He is ROTC though.
Yep.
And mocked me for only doing like part of a race. He's like, I would have done like the multi-lap, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're 18 and like any ROTC. I can't compete with.
Joe's like 40.
I'll be 48 on Friday.
See, I lowballed you. I said 46.
That's good.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's what my old joke is always. People are like, oh, wow, how old are you? I'm like, yeah, I look pretty good for a 55-year-old, huh? They're like, oh my God, you so do. I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm 48.
Your birthday's on Friday?
Yes, it's
Oh,
upcoming
happy
Friday.
birthday. So
Thank
we're
you.
going to have to do a very special birthday celebration for Worshipful Brother Joe. on
Yes.
Thursday.
So Thursday's podcast, we're
Yes.
doing a birthday celebration.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are sweet.
Yes. We'll have Rocco jump out of your cake.
Yep. Papa George.
Oh dear.
Or Messner. We'll have Messner.
I'd rather have an
booby
oiled up
tassels.
raft. I'd rather have an oiled up raft jumping out of Well, it's also it means there's a lot of cake. It's a bigger cake.
We could make this happen.
We
already got a plan.
And that was the last episode of the Freemasons podcast.
Gordon
Rocco
Lodge
says-
came down the next day.
Rocco says, "Stop! I'm not jumping." Yeah, I got your
You're
Roxy.
really
in there,
not
Jacob. I
jumping.
got
You
your-
just stand up, Rocco. You just stand up.
It's more of a hop
It's more of a hop, right?
Yeah. because you got to make sure you break through the top.
Yeah, you gotta make.
Yeah, there's got to be like some force there.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a midget comment. That's why I can't jump out of the cave because I won't break to the top. I figured there was going to be something coming along.
Sometimes I could just leave things out there and people can draw their own jokes out of it.
Sometimes it's not about you, George.
You're absolutely
It's
right.
like a little Easter
Smart.
egg.
Always.
Rocco, we know is Italian. We know it's the most Italian men are they're furry. We'll go furry.
Yeah, but some more than others. Christ, Rocco's furry.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't want him near my
I'm
cake.
not going to be up there.
Yeah, I don't have to pick that out of my.
I'm not going to be up there. But
Yeah.
Avelino Ventura says, "Does Masonry have a wedding ritual?" Yes.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
We do.
We do. It is
Oh.
actually not in the United States. It is not something that is very popular in the United States. If it's been done, it's few and far between. But there is. It's actually, I believe, a European wedding ritual. Yes, there is.
Huh.
And one of the things that they do is it's almost like a degree, believe it or not,
Okay.
where you have senior wardens, junior wardens, the whole deal. And one of the things is they tie rope around the arms of the husband and wife, and they bring them around
Like a
basically
cable tow in essence.
like a cable tow to each other, tied to each other.
Mhm.
And they are basically on a tow line being towed to the junior warden, senior warden, worshipful
Interesting.
master. And it's to show that not only are they tied to each other, but now they're both tied to the fraternity. And there's some other, I mean, you can look this up, and I'm trying to think of the website. I will find it, and I'll put it in the show notes on
Yeah,
on
send it to me
YouTube.
and I'll put it up on the community.
Yeah,
page.
we put it on the community page too.
That's kind of cool. I never.
that is
knew
cool.
that.
Yeah, there is it's more, I think it's more prevalent in Europe and South America, but yes, there is a wedding ritual for Freemasonry. And again, not very popular in the States. I've read it once or twice before, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I've always wondered if you can get dispensation to wear your apron at.
You do wear your apron for this wedding.
Yeah.
Yep,
But I'm
you
just
wear
saying,
your
if
apron.
we were to do one in the States, I would just, even if it weren't part of that
You wear your apron, you wear
particular
your
mitzvah
regalia.
ritual, I wonder if you can get dispensation.
Well, I know the Knights Templar. You can be married in your Templar uniform.
Okay.
You can get dispensation on it. As a matter of fact, there was a wedding. There's been weddings in the state of Connecticut where you actually go underneath the cross.
that was gonna be my
go
next
underneath the
question.
Arch of Steel.
Arch of Steel.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Huh. Well,
Um,
next time I get married, I'm going to have to look into this.
it's
Just kidding. One and done.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
you will pay for that shit when you get home.
She's not even listening. It'll be fine. This is the one episode she's going to listen to live and shit.
Don't worry, Ken. You can do it at my next one.
Oh, she on
Yeah, okay.
Instagram?
Shut up. Stay
Or
off
she
Instagram.
gets direct messages.
Don't you dare.
I'll just put it up there. Bing! Freemasons Podcast, episode 151. Ken sinks his ship.
Thought you would like to see this one.
But anyway, there is a
Well,
wedding
you can do
ritual.
it when you. I think what Worshipful Brother Ken meant, if I may interject, is when you renew your vows.
Right.
It would be so. That's what you meant by your next wedding, not your next wife.
Georgie,
No,
get
that's
the
not what I
shovel.
meant, but-
Right.
but-
Get the shovel, Georgie. Yeah, it's in the back right there. Joe's
I
trying
know
to
you were
hold
trying to
on.
dig me
Trying
out
to
of
throw
that.
you a lifeline, man.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I meant. Vow renewal.
Vow renewal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lifeline.
For George, it would be vowel renewal, since he tends to leave him out of everything.
Get the shovel, Georgie. Joe needs it for Ken. Yeah, so the Templars, they have you go underneath the Arch of Steel. That's pretty cool. I've seen that. I think I've just seen that on Facebook. It was somebody who was in the Grand Commander at the time, got married. Don't remember who, but I remember seeing the pictures of the bride and groom going under the Arch of Steel.
That could be a really good name for a heavy metal band too.
Well, Arch of Steel.
Yeah. Might go buy that domain name later.
There you go.
But the Blue Lodge, I know it's more common in other countries.
Cool. Good question.
Yeah, very good question.
I don't know. I learned something tonight, you guys.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't know.
George taught us.
I will
something.
find the link for it because I'm not 100% sure what the link was. Imagine if you Google search it.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of Google.
On the Google machine.
The Googler. Let's see here. Masonic wedding ceremony is what I typed in. And
do they make a wedding soup? Is there a Masonic wedding soup?
it's on phoenixmasonry.org.
Oh, that's
you
a
can
good
find
site.
it.
They have a lot
Yep.
of good information on that site.
It's phoenixmasonry.org and it's Masonic %20 wedding .htm. And yeah, the whole ritual is right here.
Did you just speak out a URL with like the special characters for
Yeah, you
space in it and everything?
Yeah, well, I'm helping people out.
Yeah, just Google it.
I mean, I'll put it on here,
Google
but
search criteria.
yeah, well, we'll go over it right here. It starts off.
%20.
Here we go.
Hashtag pound sign. Is it a hashtag or a pound sign
Depends
hell
who you're
knows
asking.
anymore?
I don't know.
or a number?
The
I
right,
still say
worshipful,
pound sign.
the right worshipful master asks everyone to be seated, then introduces the proceeding as such. Sisters and brethren, we are gathered here today to celebrate Masonic reconfirm a marriage of sister and brother whose marriage was performed in accordance with the civil laws of our country. So this
It's like an after.
is after marriage ceremony. So it's not an actual Masonic ceremony. It's
So I could
after
do that.
they've
Like
already
a-
been married.
So even though I've been married for however
Yeah,
long
it's like
I've
an
been married,
addendum.
I can
It's
do
like
that.
a
Yeah.
add-on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like from what I'm gathering, it's more of a presentation to the lodge. And yeah, it says in preparation for the ceremony, temple officers' petals and East are adorned with flowers. Brethren wear flowers on their lapel pins. Lodge officers wear 2 flowers, and the right worshipful master wears 3 flowers, preferably with a red and white ribbon. Lodge officers only wear their collars, so no aprons.
Interesting.
Brethren do not wear their aprons, but white gloves only. Sisters, as females are designated, when admitted, sit in the south, while brethren sit in the north.
Yeah, usually there
Mhm.
would be issues about wearing your apron unless you.
This
have
is cool. I'm going to keep reading this. A
special
small
dispensation.
table with 2 chairs is placed in front of the altar facing the right worshipful master, on which a silver platter with the wedding rings, a glass of wine, a glass of water, an empty glass, a glass rod, and a blue ribbon long enough to encircle the newlyweds. Oh, so it goes around the bodies then. The table is decorated with flowers, and the incense burners in an incense burner is on the secretary's table. We had our meeting last night, and our
Could have really used an incense burner.
senior warden was burning his own incense over there and choking out half the lodge. I'll let you figure that one out. It was man-made incense.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they actually have the director of ceremonies. This is pretty cool. Let's see here.
And we should.
I'm gonna keep reading this for a second, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go for it. We should do that in our jurisdiction.
We should. We'll marry you two.
Yeah,
Who, me and Ken?
I'm game if you are.
I'll be the wedding singer.
Love stinks. Yeah.
All right, Jake Giles.
I'm just quickly thumbing through this. You guys can all look at this again. It's on phoenixmasonry.org, and yeah, it says. There's actually a ritual. Shut up. Right, worshipful master.
On there?
Right, worshipful master, brother. Do you feel that you have the strength to perform these duties? Groom. Yes, right, worshipful master. Right, worshipful master. Sister, do you also feel you possess this strength? Yes, right, worshipful master. Right, worshipful master. Sister, do you promise to love and honor your husband and be tied with him in the bonds of respect, fidelity, and trust? I do. Brother, do you engage yourself to love and honor your wife and remain tied with her in the bonds of fidelity and confidence? Help.
Was that him running? Look at him.
You just pulled a Jack Burrow.
He is like Michael Winslow.
I miss Brother Jack.
Yeah. So did everybody else. Yeah, no, this is pretty cool. There's a whole ritual on here. You guys can check it out, and the history of it's on here. I'm not going to go through it all, but you're welcome to check it out. PhoenixMasonry.org. It is an awesome website.
Yeah, they get so
They
much
got
information.
all kinds
on
of
that,
cool
yeah.
shit in there. Let's see here. Does every jurisdiction do an open house for the public? I think
don't
it's
know
left
if
up for lodges.
I don't know if every jurisdiction
Well, here in
does.
Connecticut, it's
We
left
do
up
it. Yeah,
I know
it's left
ours
up.
does, but yeah, it's
Since there's no. Oh boy,
Lee Muskoff, Musikoff, whatever your
Muskoff,
name is.
yeah.
music off.
Brother marrying a sister, is that legal outside of New England?
Oh, look
Ah,
at you! Way to go,
He's improving.
Bradley.
He's
Yeah.
improving. That's one of our
Well-
fellow Discord guys who gets his
Yeah, but
ass.
he's from New England, so
I know, right?
sounds like whatever. I believe.
If you want to find out about that comment, though,
Ask Danny
Likewise.
Collins on Discord for as little as $3 a month. You too can get access to exclusive Patreon content, which includes our Discord page, which includes up to 8 different channels of chat, including a chat room, an audio line, and potentially a video line. And also with that, you will receive the Gold Tone Freemason Podcast lapel pin.
talk to Rafferty. Don't break my balls anymore.
Offer as little as $3 a month. You too can talk to Danny Collins and ask him the mysteries of the universe.
Yeah.
The best part is, I know the comment was that bad that you actually shoved the mic arm away from you, just in case it's still blurted out.
No, a man has to know his limitations.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, if anybody has any questions, we're going to shut this down shortly, but you can reach out on Facebook. You could
Instagram.
write this in the comments after we're done going live, and we will respond because I monitor the YouTube because that's pretty much all I'm allowed to anymore.
Before we shut it down, I do want to propose a toast when you're done. Doing your
Absolutely. But you can please, another thing I want to add, like, subscribe, like our videos if you're interested in hearing what you got to say or not what we have
smash
to say.
that like button, smash that
Smash.
subscribe button.
Yes.
And
You're
the
a-
kids like this.
now you're a YouTuber.
If you
Millennials.
listen on Apple, please rate and review us. We appreciate it. Give us your best. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It helps us being found. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to add in the comments section to this video, or reach out on Anchor or Facebook or Instagram or even Twitter. We're on there too.
Mhm.
And you can ask us any questions you got.
Yeah.
You know, I know some people are probably maybe they're interested in Freemasonry, but they're shy to actually put it on a public forum like this. So, and we'll answer it with seriousness. I mean, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what the question is. I mean, we've had people who said, "Hey, I'm trans. Can I be a Mason?" And we've answered them in the confidence,
Yeah.
you know, of us giving us our best answer we can. You
Ask
know,
us the tough questions.
ask us
Yeah.
the tough
We will
questions and
find
we'll
the
answer them. You won't catch no shit from us.
Yep.
We're pretty we're I mean, we bust each other's balls on here, but if you're asking a serious inquiry, we will not ever, you know, make fun of you or you know,
Right.
dissuade you from if you're interested in it.
And all we ask is if for whatever reason you don't want us to mention your name or Twitter handle or anything like that,
Yeah,
just
let
put
us
that in-
know.
let us know in the
Yeah.
comments right away that you want it to be anonymous. This way, you know, it's not our place to
Masons
put your
keep
name out
secrets,
there.
man.
Absolutely.
We are good at keeping secrets
That is what we do.
and trust and fidelity in others. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, you have a toast.
So yeah, little toast. We mentioned his name a few moments ago, but I want to little toast out to brother Danny Collins, who
Mhm. Yes.
has had some health concerns this week, and I won't get
Mhm.
into the specifics of it because I don't know if he wants us to or not. But you know, I did exchange a few messages with him. He is feeling better, so
Me as
want to
well.
give him a quick shout out and give him a toast.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
brethren, right hand to arms,
Two arms.
ready,
Ready.
aim,
Aim.
fire, good fire, fire all. Together, brothers.
Vivat, vivat, vivat.
Get well soon, brother.
Yeah, I messaged him a little while ago, same thing, and I said, "You need anything?" now that my car isn't a broken piece of shit anymore, I could actually make it up there to get you whatever you needed. He
A
said,
box of ice cream,
You'd like to go up.
ice cream sandwiches.
You'd like to go up to the Finger Lakes.
is that where he's at?
He's up near the Finger Lakes, I believe.
Oh, is that like near Lake George and everything? I'm not too familiar with upstate. New York.
It's upstate New York. I think it's out near Rochester that way. I don't think it's too far from where we were going to go for that Widow's Sons thing if it happened, but it didn't happen. What? You have bad.
I had
You're wanted in
no,
Rochester.
we'll talk about it off the air.
You're wanted in Rochester.
No.
Okay.
There's a war.
We'll talk off there. But anyway, all right. What do you
Joe
think?
Schultz not mentioning the name is an option. Now you tell me.
Sorry, brother.
You would have forgotten anyway, old man.
What do you got, brother? Say, shut it down.
Let's shut it down.
All right. And again, if you have any questions, comments, anything you guys are interested in knowing, reach out to us. We'll
Please.
absolutely answer them to our best of our ability. If we don't have the answers, we will make damn sure that we find somebody who does.
Exactly.
All right. So cool. For the Freemasons podcast, I am Right Worship Brother George Marjorie signing off.
Worshipful Brother Joe signing off.
And worshipful brother Ken signing off.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, YouTube.
Bye-bye.
And we are shutting down YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in.
No.
Night, night.
Bitches.
Your back's against